to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins along with Murphy Farah, and we've got Justin Malden with us as well, doing all the graphics and basically all the hard work while me and Murphy get to do the easy part. But Murph, welcome back in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You know, we're just about through with the regular season.
Right.
Now the part that really counts. Of course, everybody's still got games next week, but we're just about district tournament bound, aren't we?
Yeah, you're about a week and a half out from the regular season being over. Of course, some teams have got those makeup games completed, and some don't. And I know Cannon County, the day we're filming this show on Wednesday, has got a game tonight in Bedford County, going down to Community High School and play Unionville. That's the case with a lot of people. Hopefully there's no inclement weather, Murphy, to where we can get all these games made up, and then starting that following Monday after the regular season ends on the 10th, then on the 12th, then everybody can start.
We're in good shape Friday. It's supposed to be in the low to mid 60s without rain. So that'll be almost
great.
like a step into the spring.
Let's go ahead and look at the Stone Memorial and DeKalb County girls. Josh Agee and I had the privilege last Saturday afternoon to have that game. Courtney Hedrick, a big game for Stone. She had 25 points. She stepped out, knocked down 2 or 3 threes as well. Rachel Houston had 13. Ella Van Branken leads DeKalb, who was down quite a bit, and then came back. She had 29, and her sister Chloe Van Branken had 9. DeKalb just couldn't get. They stayed behind double figures most of the game, and then made a push there at the end. And Coach Brandy Alley should be proud that her team showed the fight it did after going to White County the night before and dropping a game in Sparta to what is now the #1 ranked team in Class 4A in Michael Dodgen's White County Lady Warriors. Let's go ahead and look at the boys' game. We talked about Caps, what an outstanding player he is. He had 42 points in that game. Preston Mayberry with 9. Stone gets the 11-point win, 68-57 in Smithville. Connor Close, another outstanding offensive game. He had 30. Dallas Kirby of 13. But it's a pleasure to watch Connor Close and Cade Caps play, Murphy. They're just phenomenal talents.
We've had at Cannon County, we've had one guy on the boys team that scored 30 or 31 one game last week, and when you see someone that they're just on, and it's not so much that they're shooting that much, their teammates are finding them open in the paint, and consequently they really get it done.
With Caps, he shoots a lot, but he makes a lot as well.
Yeah.
He can score at all 3 levels, the three-pointer, the mid-range game, or posting up. Let's look at...
Probably good at free throws, too.
Yeah, he is. Although he did miss a couple. They had just lost the night before, a heartbreaker, Murphy, against Upperman. I think that game was at Baxter.
Wow.
Caps missed a free throw that would have given them a 3-point lead. He misses it, and Upperman goes down and banks in a 3-pointer to beat them by 1 point.
Did they
the
call
night
it
before.
off the glass?
I don't think they called it. Now, that's Justin's alma mater. Maybe he can do a little inside scoop story
Research.
there and, find out for us.
Whenever somebody hits a 3 off the glass, that question
right.
is always in my
Did
mind.
they call bank?
Did they call?
Because if you're playing horse, that don't count, right? Jackson County at Gordonsville girls. Jackson County gets the win, 47-33. Reese Thomas leads the way with 15. Jalen Meadows has 11. They kind of rebounded, Murphy, from a very disappointing loss for them over at Watertown. Give Coach Keller's bunch credit. They got a big district win. Looking at for Gordonsville, Callie Underwood with 12, KK Roberts with 10. And once again, Gordonsville struggles scoring, and that's been kind of the MO the entire year for Jake Dillard's Tigerettes.
It's always disappointing when you lose one that close, but you gotta have some offense in addition to the defense, obviously.
Jackson County and Gordonsville boys, a very close ball game, 52-48. Gordonsville won by 21, if I remember right, in the game in Gainsboro. And Brody Sykes leads the way with 12. Jay Foster with 9. A very balanced score sheet for the Tigers. And Jackson County led by Will McCrary, their 6'4" sophomore post. He had 17.
Wow.
Alex Meadows had 7. That team, Murphy, if I remember right, there's 11 people on Jackson County's roster. They've got 1 freshman. They've got one senior in Waylon Kennedy, and they've got 9 sophomores for head coach Kevin Thomas.
That's a pretty thin roster, though, if you've only got that many kids. And because Gainsborough, as long as I can remember, back to the mid-'70s, has always been a basketball school.
Right, for sure. Let's go ahead and look at some Gordonsville Tigerettes scores. Clay County gets the win over Gordonsville 68-45, and then, of course, the Jackson County and Gordonsville girls 47-33 with the Lady Blue Devils registering the win. Let's go ahead and look at the standings in the District 7A race. Pickett County sitting there at 5-0. They already went to Clark Range last Friday and got a big win. Clark Range at 4-2, Clay County 3-3, Red Bull 2-4, and Gordonsville 0-5. Pickett, I think, is, the decided best team in that district, but there's some balance there at that 2, 3, and 4 slots.
Are they going to? I know that I've been told anyway that the district that Cannon County competes in, if this district 7A does the same thing, then Red Boiling and Gordonsville will have a play-in game, and the winner of that one will take on the number 1 team out of the district.
That is correct. That's the way that it is. Now, whether they'll satellite that out, Murphy, sometimes they do, and sometimes they play it at a central site. The central site for the rest of the tournament's at Livingston, so we'll just have to see. Most of the time, they take all the teams, all 5 teams, to the district tournament. Is like we said, it'll be in Livingston and start that week of February the 12th. Okay. I think is when all that starts. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. First for the Sonic of Carthage boys scoreboard, Gordonsville gets a big win over Clay County. First time in a long time that they went to Salina, probably about 15, 20 years. They win at 59-46 and then get the big win in our DTC game, 52-48. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. You've got Pickett sitting there at 6-0. They've already won at Gordonsville. Gordonsville's 4-1. They are in prime position, kind of to lock up that 2nd seed. Red Bull and Clay County sitting there both at 2-4. I know Red Bull beat Clay County at Salina and then Clark Range. They're 1-6, but they're a dangerous 1-6.
I was going to say,
Coach,
with the history that they have, that play-in game against Clay County could be
Clay or Red Bull, and depends on how that goes. Of course, you've got 8 district games. Some have played more games than others. Let's go ahead and look at the boys' scores for Cannon County. A good week for Coach Jared Nave. They get 3 district wins there over Cascade, Forest, and Grundy, and all of them were blowouts. Not Coach Nave, I'm sorry. That's for Coach Ashley Patrick for the girls. Sonic of Carthage scores for them. 3 big wins for them, solidifying them on top of that district.
I think the boys and girls teams each are on a 6 or 7 game win streak right now. They're all peaking. They're both peaking out at the exact time that they need to be doing so with the tournament on the immediate horizon.
Now let's look at the 9AA girls standings. Cannon sitting there on top, 4-0. Of course, if they get a win tonight at Community, it'll go a long way in thrusting them into a regular season championship. Of course, they've got Grundy County, they've already beat at Grundy. They've got them at home. So they're in a great position to get that top seed, you would think.
I think so, and like I said, they crept into the Associated Press top 10 this week at number 10 for the first time this season.
Let's go ahead and look at the Cannon County boys. Coach Jared Nave's Sonic of Carthage scores 62-47. 3 big wins, especially the one at Grundy, Murph.
Oh gosh, that was the atmosphere was very electric, and I know when Cannon County came out, the boys, for their layups and pregame warm-up, 75% of the arena there was booing the visiting team. So I told Coach Nave, I said, we better show them that we've got some class in Woodbury when they come Friday night.
Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Cannon County on top and at least a 2-game lead for the Lions. And in a great position to get a regular season district championship.
If we win tonight, we win the district pretty much. I don't see anything changing greatly enough to change that.
We'll take a look at some more schools in our area when we return to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
At DTC, we're proud to provide the communication and entertainment services you need to get the most from today's technology.
Get a $50 bill credit when you add or upgrade your internet package with us. Supercharge your video streaming and high-performance gaming because we've got you covered.
Get the technology you want, backed by local customer service from neighbors you know and trust. DTC Communications, your total communications provider.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Welcome back to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. Go out on Dixon Springs Highway, see Todd and Angela. They got a great breakfast buffet and a lunch buffet where they can hook you up. In fact, I had that for lunch today, so we want to thank Todd and Angela for being our title sponsor. Murph, when you look, as we get ready to look in some more scores and stuff, you know, the round 2 of the district regular season race is now upon us. We're right in the middle of it. Instead of playing maybe on the road, you get to play at home. So some of these close games, maybe that were close on the road, maybe you can flip that to a win when you get them at home.
Makes a big difference when you're on your own court. And I know in Cannon County's situation, for example, their fans are incredible. It doesn't matter where they're playing. We pack the house as much as the home team does when we're on the road. So. And that's what made the trip to Colmont so difficult last night, or Monday night, excuse me, was that home crowd. It was pretty outstanding.
Right. And it's fun to play in an atmosphere like that. I know Grundy County, maybe they are a little bit over the edge when it comes to things like that, but it's good as a high school player to get to play in it. I think that helps you when you get to the district tournament and maybe it's not on a neutral floor, but somebody else's home floor. So you've got to battle through that. Even if they're a lower seed and you have to play them, Murph, it makes it kind of tough because their home fans are going to show up, especially if they're hosting the district tournament.
That's right. It's going to make a difference.
Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb girls' scores. They lose to White County 71-37. Less than 24 hours later, they drop a home game against Stone Memorial 63-56 in a very low-scoring game. Cumberland County beats them 43-24. If you look and you average what they had the previous 2 games, Murphy, they could have got a W probably. But you know, from time to time, we have seen DeKalb go in lulls, especially when the Van Branken girls don't score for them.
Those 3 opponents within a 5-day period would give a lot of teams trouble.
Right.
There's some pretty good basketball teams on the screen right now.
Let's go ahead and look at the 7AA girls race. It's a close one. White County, it's only lost to Stone Memorial, and White County did avenge that loss earlier. White County, the number 1 team in the district at 6-1. Upperman at 5-1. I think they're ranked 3rd in Class 3A as White County is 1. Then you got Cumberland County there at 4-2, and then you've got Livingston at 2-4, Stone at 2-5, and DeKalb at 0-6. As it looks right now, DeKalb going to have to kick it in and try to get they'll probably have to get 3 wins, Murphy, out of these last 4 district games. I know they've got Livingston twice. They've got Stone left as well. They've got to do that if they're going to get out of that 6th seed. It looks like right now Cumberland and DeKalb will be playing in the opening round of the district tournament in that 3-6 matchup.
Well, I would love to be at the next match between Upperman and White County, wouldn't you? That'd be a great ball game to watch, I would think.
Definitely is. White County has already beaten them once, I believe. They've still got 1 left to go. Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb boys scores. We'll have Joey Agee, the coach for DeKalb County, a little bit later. Sonic of Carthage scores is White County beats DeKalb County boys in a low-scoring game. Then you've got Stone beating DeKalb, and then you've got Cumberland County beating DeKalb as well. 0-3 for them, Murphy. They have got to get out of the funk. I mean, it's just all there is to it. Sometimes you get in lulls or losing streaks. You just got to overcome those and go on.
Those bottom 2 are just barely double-digit wins. You know, you take a couple of 3-point shots, hit free throws a little better than you normally do, and all of a sudden it's upset city for people in Smithville.
Right. Let's go ahead and look at the standings out of District 7 AAA. Upland sitting there at 5-1, Stone at 5-2. You got White County there at 4-3. You know, White County was on the district there, top of the district for a while after getting off to a real slow start. Livingston sitting there at 3-3. That's probably the surprise. Livingston, you know, they've got a good team. They're a very heady team. They could knock off any of those top 3 teams. They're just not abundantly athletic. They know basketball. DeKalb sitting there at 1-5 and Cumberland County at 1-5. You know, it's critical for DeKalb to get another district win or 2 because, Murphy, you want to be in that 4-5 game probably better than the 3-6. Although there's not a lot of difference in White County, Livingston, DeKalb, and Cumberland County boys, it doesn't seem.
And in the Upper Cumberland, anything can happen on the hardwood. Yeah. I mean, on any given night, somebody's going to pull off an upset, and I look for that to happen maybe in this district more than any of the others.
We will talk with head coach Matt Ferrell a little bit later and looking at the Smith County Lady Owls scores, brought to you by Sonic of Carthage. They get the win over Jackson County, a pretty one-sided win. Surprisingly, it was that one-sided. It was senior night. I think that wound up 62-37. Then they go to York. They're down by 3 there with 7 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the game at 34-31, and then they get outscored 16-4 the rest of the game to drop it to the Dragonettes 52-35. And then last night they struggled. They got up 10-0 against Monterey. Then Monterey goes on a 16-2 run. A team, Monterey, that's lost 8, 9, 10 games in a row. They're winless in the district. They were up 16-12 on Smith County after after 1 quarter, but the last 3 quarters, Lady Owls kind of regained their momentum and won at 61-37. They go to York one night and Monterey the next, which was 2 pretty tough road trips.
That win at Monterey after being in Jamestown the night before should help build some great momentum for the Owlettes, I think.
Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown girls. They get the big win over Jackson County on a Saturday, 42-32. They play Watertown, played York. I believe that game was at Watertown. York gets a win, 49-26, but still scoring. That's one thing that Coach Jeff Keller's team, when they score the basketball, because they're pretty steady on defense, then they can give people trouble. Be interesting to see how Watertown does against Smith County, because if Watertown were to beat Smith County after already beating Jackson and nobody beats York, then there's going to be possibly a 3-way tie there for second place between Watertown, Smith, and Jackson.
Sounds like a lot of what ifs.
What ifs, that's right. We'll know more in next week's box score, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and look at the standings for the District 5 AA. York on top at 5-0, Smith County at 3-1. Watertown sitting there at 2-3. Jackson County at 2-4. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County boys scores. They get a thrilling win. They're down 8 with about 2 minutes to go. They come back. Gage Gibbs hits a 3 out of the corner, puts it in overtime, and Smith County beats Jackson County 63-58. Smith County just kept firing threes Monday night and lose 50-38. And then last night they get up by 30 after 3 quarters and settle for a 77-57 victory. Looking at Watertown's scores, York beats Watertown in Watertown 64-50, and then Jackson County on Saturday beats them 56-44. Looking at the standings for 5AA, you've got York sitting there on top, and then you've got Smith County and Jackson County. Of course, they split with each other during the regular season, but don't sleep on Watertown for sure. Kevin Honeycutt's team showed us a year ago, Murphy, exactly what can happen. They didn't win a district game all year. They wound up winning the district championship, going to the region finals, and then wound up going to the sub-state game before ending their season. So, momentum got on their side for sure.
I want to know how excited you got in that overtime game at Jackson County.
Pretty excited for sure when Gibbs hits that 3.
That was a nice comeback.
Joey Agee's interview is straight ahead, the DeKalb County boys head coach. As we remind you, you're watching DTC TV, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
And welcome back here to DTC. We want to thank our fine sponsors, which is Carthage Safeway. They're a title sponsor, and we've got Joey Agee, the DeKalb County boys head coach. And Coach, I know there's a week and a half left in the season, and you've suffered quite a few losses. Trying to snap out of a funk, and sometimes that's hard to do when you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, sometimes, we had that long layover because of the weather, and, that didn't help anything. And we've just shot the ball pretty poorly the last 3 games. 2 out of the 3 games. We shot the ball pretty well against Stone. And we played pretty well against them for 3 quarters, but we had a bad quarter against them. Shot the ball terribly at White County. Shot the ball terribly again last night at Cumberland County. So, we gave up 42 points at White. We gave up 43 last night. And you feel like as a coach, if you give up in the 40s in a high school basketball game, you ought to win. But just didn't shoot the ball well enough to do it.
Would you rather coach boys than girls? They're totally different, but some people just prefer one over the other from the coaching point of view.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's coaching's coaching. I like to do either or, but I guess I've always coached boys, so I'm probably a little bit more familiar with how boys act, and I do have 2 daughters, so I do know how they are a little bit more emotional than boys, but. There's obviously there's differences in both, but yeah, I just like to coach basketball. Either or is fine with me.
Good answer. Good answer.
And you forgot to say a bossy wife, so.
Yeah.
But
right.
Coach, when you look at it, we had your game against Stone last Saturday afternoon. About a 20-hour between games. But I was amazed that the stamina, and I know you gave out a gas a little bit in the fourth quarter, but you still got good shots, and I thought the level of play was pretty good to have 2 games, and especially being on the road in a 24-hour span.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't totally, displeased by the way we played against Stone, but, we definitely got to do a better job against Caps the next time that we see them, but, he's going to get his. He's a good enough player that he's going to get some points, and you just got to live with that, but I felt like maybe we shot the ball better. Of course, we was at home the second game, so that helps out too, that you're not on the road 2 days in a row. But we usually shoot the ball better at home, and like most people do, I guess. But, I felt like that, maybe that game at White got us going a little bit for Stone. And I felt like, really that we were heading in the right direction going into Cumberland County, but again, shot the ball poorly. Didn't really execute on offense a whole lot. And Torres had a good night against us again. So, he scored 33 of their 43. So, but again, if you give up 43, you think you ought to win. So,
Coach, when you look at the district, and you got the toughness night in, night out, playing those teams. I guess it magnifies the fact when you struggle that Jordan Parker's not there with you. And, he's an integral part. You don't have a lot of depth. You have to play some people out of necessity sometime, maybe. But, Seth Fusion and maybe Caldwell or maybe Spears a little bit. But you don't have a lot of depth, which makes things even tougher when they're having to log 27, 28, 29 minutes a ball game.
Yeah, it does. Some of the teams that we play are kind of in the same boat too. I mean, Stone don't play a whole lot of kids off the bench, but then you run into somebody like Upperman who may play 10 kids at different times through the game, and but you got to go with what you got. And Caldwell did a good job for us last night. Shot the ball decent. I think he was 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, so he came in and gave us some big minutes last night. Spears has come in here and there, and we just asked him to play good defense and rebound for us. He is a kid that's going to try to do whatever he can to help the team when he's in there. So, just give credit to those kids who's just stayed in. Basketball mode, they don't seem to lose focus too much. They're, even though their minutes may be sparingly at times, and some games may play more than others, but they've done a good job just, trying to buy into what we're asking them to do when they're in there.
Coach, I'm curious to find out your thoughts about 4 classifications in basketball now. I know one of your neighbors, Cannon County, they're a 2A school, and when their region tournament starts, they've got to go all the way to Loretta. That's over 2 hours from Woodbury. First of all, I'd like to know what you think about 4 classes. Would you rather it be 3? And where is your region going to be played this year?
I don't know off the top of my head exactly what region site it'll be at, just because we haven't had our district meetings yet, but at the end of the year district meeting anyways. But well, as far as like the different classifications, I would prefer probably going back to 3, and so that we could continue to have a district like it was when I was in high school. I think the rivalries are, maybe a little bit better. But, we're in a situation now where we're the smallest school in our district, with about 830 kids, and I think the biggest in our district may be close to 1,200 or 1,100 or so. I like the rivalry part of, having Cannon and Smith and, Watertown, I think, come in later on. But then again, they could argue the same way because we would be a little bit bigger than probably everybody in the district at that point if we went back to the way it used to be. So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You just gotta win the games that you're supposed to and try to steal a few that, might be iffy.
I think the worst part about it is the travel issue, because the more classes you have, the more you're going to have to travel to find schools closer to your enrollment.
Yeah. I think, Macon County was in our district last year, and they've moved it into another district for travel purposes. So, I think some of that's got to be looked at probably in the future.
Coach Agee, when you look at your team, getting everybody healthy, I think that's number one. Sometimes, I know you've got, just very few district games left to try to turn a switch. But when you get in the first round of the district tournament, everybody's 0-0, and it's a new season. And I know even when you struggle, you have seen teams that are 6 seeds beat 3 seeds. You've seen 7 seeds beat 2 seeds, 5 seeds beat 4 seeds, or a 5 seed beat a 4 seed and then upset a 1 seed. Right. I know that's something that's, got to give your team some life, although they're struggling right now.
Yeah, they're just going to have to stay. They're just going to stay in it. It's going to be easy for them to get discouraged. The road that we got left is not an easy one, obviously. We got Livingston twice, we got Baxter, and we got Stone. Top 3 or 4 teams in our district is still ahead of us. So, but we just got to try to build some momentum going into the district tournament. I don't think, even if we went out, that we could probably get any higher than maybe 3rd or 4th, and probably 4th, to be honest with you. I don't know. I can't see a road where we could get all the way to 3, but even if we won out the rest of our district games. But so we kind of know where we're going to sit. We're going to be in that 4 or 5 game, or worst case scenario, you're playing the 3 seed as a 6 seed, because the first 2 teams in our district get a bye first round. So, we played Baxter close. We played Stone pretty close until late, and we got to put 4 quarters together. If we're going to have a chance to win anything, we got to put 4 quarters together for sure.
You and Coach Randolph the other night, I know y'all took several timeouts, or the other day, I should say, against Stone, took several timeouts because it would seem that y'all would kind of check out mentally, and I don't mean that talking about any one player, but there was just a lot of mental mistakes. And I know they were probably tired, but I think y'all urging them to, hey, guys, we're still in it. We've got a chance. You can't go out there and play for them. They've got to correlate that in to the game. And there were some times that maybe a defensive person could help on Caps, who wound up with 42, but chose not to. And they had a couple players that didn't shoot the ball very well perimeter, and you're probably easier to help with those type people. But I know that they struggled carrying out the game plan that you and Coach Randolph had.
Yeah, the bottom line, probably mental focus is not been our strong suit as of late. It's a long game, and we tell them this all the time. It's a long game. There's going to be runs on both sides, and you're going to have to withstand a run, and you're going to have to make one of your own. But yeah, I agree that sometimes we don't embrace the struggle at times, and And that's something that we're really harping on them about. You got to love the struggle of defense every possession. And if you do those things, then we could be a really, really good team. And, we've told them, over and over that we believe in you, but we can't give what we got inside of us to you. You've got to do it yourself. So, they got to have some belief in themselves and their teammates at the same time. So.
Well, Coach Joey Agee, we appreciate you visiting with us. Best of luck to you and the DeKalb County Tigers for the rest of the season.
Get a couple upsets, Coach.
We'll hope we're going to try anyways. We got to get some momentum going somewhere along the line. So.
And we will be back after this. We want to thank Carthage Safeway, our title sponsor, and you're watching The Box Score on DTC TV.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
So, go check it out.
Deterring crime. It's the first job of a home security system from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. The time to get started is right now.
Let us help protect your home.
So?
A lot of nice stuff and an alarm.
Don't delay. Call DTC Security now or visit us online.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
And welcome back to The Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Justin Malden doing a great job for us as always. And we've got Matt Ferrell, the Smith County girls head coach with us. And coach, on back-to-back nights, you get to go to Jamestown and Monterey, the 2 longest trips that you'll have in the district. You're right there against York. You're down 3 there. Early moments of the fourth quarter, but then they go on a 16-4 run to close the game. And I still feel like that your team showed the ability not only to play maybe with York, and I know this is probably going way out on a limb, but beat York.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot last week that the first game was kind of just to get our feet wet a little bit. The seniors and juniors that play, they kind of had the experience from last year, the postseason run and stuff. But that game was a postseason game in a lot of ways. And so our freshmen really didn't have that. And I thought they actually probably played better than the upperclassmen did in a lot of ways the other night. So I don't know if it's because they just didn't feel the pressure or what. But I think it reminded me a lot of the game we played Westmoreland last year to start the year. We were in the game up through mid-third quarter there and kind of let it get away from us. And it takes a little bit of time to kind of, feel each other out. I think for them too. So, I think when it matters here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be ready. We'll have a game plan together. I think we'll have a shot to win. So,
Coach, when I was in high school in Arizona, we had 2 games that were each 200 miles away from our high school, but they were only 50 miles apart. So we spent the night in the community where the first one was, so we wouldn't have to have that 400-mile round trip twice back to back. And I made more of a joke than anything last week talking about these past 2 games with York and Monterey. Do you think it would have made any difference if you all had spent the night up there and played that second game without the kids having to ride the bus so long for 2 games?
It might have. I didn't think we didn't have, starting with me, we didn't have very good energy last night. And it was kind of I think the kids kind of knew coming in what it was going to be, and it's really hard for us to get mentally locked in and prepped when the team thinks that we're going to be a lot better. And so that was something we had a long talk about in the locker room at halftime last night. And, I told them, I said, it ain't going to matter tonight, but there's going to be a day coming when we may be a lot better than the team that's across from us in a go-home game. But if you don't show up and they do, then your season can end. So we had a long talk about that at halftime. We had a long talk about it after the game was over. And, we were a little beat up. We played a lot of kids last night. And so I think that really had a lot more to do with it, really, than the travel. Just some sore bodies, some knots, some bumps, some bruises, and just sore joints after that York game, and I'm sure that they had them too. So,
Coach, when you look at the York game, Reese Beatty, one of the standout players, not only in our district but in the state of Tennessee, no doubt probably be a Miss Basketball finalist. You held her to 12, which was not bad, but their other players stepped up, and when you look at the fourth quarter, they hit 7 out of 7 shots from the field. Wow.
Yeah, they Reese is Reese. I mean, we know what we're going to get with her. She's one of the best. I got the privilege of coaching her when she was young in travel ball some, and she was special then and special now. So I tell a lot of the media guys that cover them a lot, they better take a lot of pictures because they might not ever see another kid like her. So for us to hold her to 12, I felt like was a pretty good, Daisy Claywell's kind of got that assignment for us all year of guarding the other team's best player, and she really done a great job. And they had some kids specifically in the fourth quarter. Of course, they got 3 of those 7 buckets, I think, kind of after we were having to really stretch out. Aaron had fouled out, Emory had fouled out. We didn't really have the lineup in that was able to press, but we didn't have a choice because we were behind. So we were having to still spread out a lot. I felt like when we were in our element and getting to defend the way we talked about and prepped, they had a hard time getting any easy baskets. And credit to them, they had a couple of kids come step up. Emma Cooper made some big shots. She made a huge shot out of the timeout when we had it at 3. And I thought, we kind of made her take a shot that we were okay with her taking. I mean, it was a pretty deep 3 at the top of the key, and to her credit, she made it. So, that's they're a good team, and, they're going to make some of those tough shots, and hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to make some of them too. Maybe we can give them a little bit better run the next couple of times.
Coach, I asked this of our previous interview. Where is your regional tournament? And I ask that because so many regional tournaments are forcing one team to do an awful lot of long-distance driving. Do you know if that's been set yet for the region that you all will play in?
Yeah, our region tournament is at Liberty Creek High School this year, so won't be too bad a trip for us, but no, that's a long way from Jamestown.
Yes, it is. Everything's a long way from Jamestown, though.
That's true. We tried to get, our district's at Jackson County, and we tried to get a neutral site, but everybody wasn't on board with it, so we'll get to host the region next year, I guess, so I'm assuming it'll be at Jackson County because I'm pretty sure we've done a 2-year deal with them somehow, so. But Liberty Creek's got it this year. They say that's a really nice new high school. I haven't been there, so I'm interested to see it.
Coach, when you look at your team, and of course you've got 4 seniors, and it was kind of heartwarming to see Sarah Wilmore have the game that she had on senior night last Friday night. Last night against Monterey, you could just tell your team, especially, you jump up 10-0 and you're thinking, okay, we're going to beat them by 40 again, I guess. But then they go on a 16-2 run to end the first quarter. You had to be a little bit shocked between the first and second quarter after beating them as bad as you did at home by 40, and then you look up and you're down by 4.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, and I told the girls this at the end of the quarter, we gave up 15 in the first quarter to York, and we gave up 16 in the first quarter to Monterey, and that's mind-boggling to anybody that's ever been in athletics in a lot of ways. So, but like I said, I think a lot of it was just starting with me. Our energy wasn't good yesterday. We've been kind of eyeing the York game for a while, and then of course with us having to make it up on back-to-back nights there. I think they kind of come in with we beat them 40 last time. We're going to be able to just kind of cruise through. And I told them in the locker room at halftime, I was like, in high school basketball, you don't show up one night, you get beat. That's how it works. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, how good or bad the other team is. You got to show up, and you got to be ready to compete because their kids are going to be ready to compete. This could be a signature win for them. They're not, a lot like one of the teams that beat us last year. I said nothing else matters because they're probably going to be done before the region tournament starts, but they beat you on your home floor this night, so they're always going to have that. And so it was a good thing for us in a lot of ways just to wake us up a little. I mean, the York game let us know what we can be, I feel like, because, York's played Gatlinburg, Pittman, and McMinn both real close, and they think that's the top 3 teams in AA, and then we're right there with York late in the game. So I feel like that game showed us what we can be, and then last night kind of showed us what we can be also if we don't really lock in and do the things that we talk about doing every day.
When you look at getting ready for, you got Trousdale County, which is coming up Thursday night this week. Next week you go to Watertown. You can lock up basically second place if you can get a win at Watertown, and then put everything on the line on that Friday, February the 9th game when York comes to home to Bill Landers Gym. Carthage was a home game for you. And if you could pull the upset, then it would be a tie for the regular season crown. But still, the game at Watertown, very, very important. They've already beaten Jackson County at Watertown, a game that you got to see. So you can't sleep on Watertown when you go over there next Tuesday night.
No, I mean, I think, and I've told the girls this multiple times throughout the year, Watertown's dangerous. They're very athletic. They match up with us in a lot of ways athletically. And, they match up with us in ways that they don't match up with York. And I feel like we match up in ways with York that they don't match up with them. So, basketball's a game of matchups. And 15 for them, Braley, the sophomore, she just dominated Jackson. And, I talked to the girls the next day. We were talking about that game. And I said, she's a kid that could cause us trouble because she's got great length, she's got great athleticism, and there's some nights she shows up and she could be the best player on either side. And there's some nights I've seen some game film on her when she was really elite. So they make me nervous in a lot of ways because they have her, and then of course obviously they have Madison King back and the little guard, the freshman. They've got good ball handlers, they've got good athleticism, and they beat us there last year. So let's not forget, hopefully we don't have too short of a memory on that, because one of our goals at the beginning of the year was for us to be sitting in the position to where when York comes to Carthage, the last Friday night of the regular season, we would have a shot to play for a district title. So, Tuesday night is a stepping stone to get to make that a reality.
Well, it's a great way to wind up the regular season and build yourself some great momentum, Coach, as you get ready for the district tournament. And who knows, maybe the regional tournament as well. It looks like your girls are starting to peak, even though they lost a couple of games this week already. But it sounds like a fun time to be an outlet basketball fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a pretty unique makeup on our team. We've got 6 kids that play pretty regular. Half of those are freshmen. The 7 and 8 for us that plays quite a bit, they're both freshmen. And our senior group has done a really good job this year of kind of molding those freshmen into what, the mindset that we're trying to build is, and what culture we want to have, and why we want to do things a certain way. And a lot of times, I'll blow the whistle at practice and be ready to correct something, and one of those seniors is already talking to them and correcting where they, this is what we need to do and this is why. And that's going to be hard to replace for us next year. But it sets a really good precedent for what's coming at the end of this year, I think. Those freshmen really want to play hard and achieve things for this group of seniors. I don't think they're quite ready for them to go yet. So that's hopefully going to be, significant for us as the year comes to you.
Well, Coach Matt Ferrell, got 3 regular season games left, 2 of those big district games. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for covering us.
Okay, and we've been talking to head coach Matt Ferrell of the Smith County Lady Owls. When we return, we'll have some scores and standings and some upcoming games. We've got it all here on the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. And we want to thank all our viewers. We want to thank all our sponsors. Murphy, if it wasn't for our sponsors, we don't get to be here.
That's true.
We appreciate all
true. We do thank you.
Let's look at the featured game. Should be a good one. Grundy County playing at Cannon County. Murphy, you'll be doing WBRY work there, but that's going to be our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week on DTC Sports. And if, I know Cannon got the big win in the girls' game at Grundy, but that boys' game was a close one. They've got a pretty good player, does Grundy. And Cannon looking to build momentum. I know Coach Nave well enough. He doesn't want to lose a game here with a week and a half left in the regular season.
Yeah, but don't ask him about Community or Forest, even though we should win both of those games. He's concentrating 110% on the game with Community tonight, right. Wednesday, and then we get Grundy twice within 5 days. But we play Community tonight, and we also play Community next Monday. Right. So that's all because of snow and ice and all those makeup games.
Grundy's already hosted Cannon once, so we'll
65-60 was the final last night.
Air times for the game, if you'd like to watch, will be on Tuesday, February the 6th at 7, on Wednesday, February 7th at 1, Thursday, February the 8th at 7, and Saturday, February the 10th at 7 p.m. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming games for the Lions and Lionettes. You got Cannon County at Community. Of course, that's tonight. We're taping the show on Wednesday. Of course, it'll air on Thursday. Then Cannon at Grundy on Friday, February the 2nd. Then Community at Cannon on the 5th. And then on Tuesday, February the 6th, Cannon at Forest. Just a reminder, DTC will be covering the Smith County Elementary Tournament, and that will come up on Monday, February the 5th. And you can go to DTC3.TV to get when those games will play, and you can watch those and view those from the comfort of your own living room for the championship games. Both should be good ones. Smith County and Gordonsville girls, and then Forks River and defeated boys are in the championship game. We'll also have the consolation games as well, as Josh Agee and I get the privilege of doing that from Bill Rand, their gym in Carthage. This is the second year for them to have it there, and I am elated, Murphy, that it is on a neutral court now. I always felt bad for the schools. Smith County Middle and Gordonsville passed it back and forth for years. Now it's at the high school where nobody, Murph, plays or practices all year long.
That's awesome, and that's always a big deal in the county because, 6 schools, I think, and 5 schools.
5 now.
So that's 25 starters, but when they get to high school, a lot of those kids won't be starting. They may play, but they won't start necessarily, so it's always a big deal. I found out just a couple of months ago that in Cannon County, for example, back in the 30s and 40s, there were 30-plus elementary schools in Cannon County, believe it or not, and that was easily the #1 event in the whole county for the whole year. So
I saw a county elementary tournament program from back in, I think it was 1954.
Oh my!
And there was probably 15 schools there, Hickman and Lanks, the different areas of the county, Montable, different
Brush Creek.
Brush Creek, all the different ones had teams. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming games now for DeKalb County. They will be on the road at Livingston, an awful tough place to play. So much history when you travel to Overton County and play against Livingston, and then they will entertain Upman girls and boys, both always at the top of the district. This has turned into quite a rivalry since they got in the same district in football and basketball. And then Livingston turns around and comes to DeKalb on Monday. So in a 5-day span they're going to play each other 2 times.
I'd hate to have to figure out how much those 3 schools have played each other over the decades, because they're all hard and fast Upper Cumberland schools, and a lot of great athletes have come out of those places.
Let's go ahead and look at Gordonsville's games. They've got Clay County going to Gordonsville. Of course, that's a big game for Gordonsville's boys. Clay County girls and boys down this year. And then Gordonsville's going to make the little short trip, about an hour and 50 minutes, to go down to play Whitwell. Whitwell teams are always a good measuring stick. Both of these, I think Whitwell is still in 1A in basketball, if I remember right.
I think you're right.
And, that'll be a good test for the Tigers and the Tigerettes.
Absolutely.
Then Gordonsville will go to Byrdstown. And if you want to see the movie Hoosiers, go to Pickett County and watch a game. That reminds me so much history and nostalgia there. All around the gym there is complete seating except for a stage, and they can put bleachers up there. But just to see all the different businesses and all that, it's a fun place.
They've got a nice monument out front from when the Lady Bobcats won 5 straight state tournament titles.
They definitely do. Let's go ahead and look at Smith County. They travel to Charleston County on Thursday night, their 3rd game of the week, and then they go to Watertown, and a big district game for both girls and boys. Smith County got the win in Carthage earlier. Then looking at Watertown boys, of course, they've got a couple of games. Monterey goes to Watertown on Friday night. That's could be a critical game as far as who finishes where. If Watertown can get the win, it would make Monterey be the 5th seed in that boys game. So we'll just have to wait and see. And then Smith County travels to Watertown next Tuesday night to finish things up. We want to thank all our fine sponsors, including Carthage Safeway. And for Justin Malden and Murphy Fair, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the Box Score.